So I've just got in from some shopping, got myself a huge haul from Element Games. Not sponsored, but we'll go through what I've got in just a moment. I want to just quickly show you what I've been setting up. So one thing I purchased years ago, I purchased an airbrush, loads of army painter paints, and then did like one and a half minis with a friend, moved house, and then, you know, they just stayed in boxes for a long time. But recently I've been getting the urge to do some more painting, and since Suzanne didn't want to use this desk for packing, she still likes just sitting at her own desk. I thought, why not just turn it into a little bit of a painting station so that it's all out, it's all there for me to just grab and get to, and I'll be more inclined to actually paint. So I've been doing some of that. So I'll do a quick tour of what I've got here, and then we'll go through the Element Games haul. And then I've also got another thing that arrived today to just show you in a moment. So yeah, let's start. So we have, it's an IKEA Kallax, and it's just stacked with, these are all like air colour paints or specialised things like mediums and putties, some dry brush paints from Citadel. And then we've got 2 airbrushes here. I have 3 in total. I've got this trigger one from Amazon. It's absolute garbage, it clogs all the time, so it's just there for display purposes. I have another regular one from, I got it from Amazon again, this was years ago, and didn't like the way it worked. It felt okay, but it was a very on-off. It's one of the cheap ones I think that you can get from like Temu and Wish. It's similar in that vein. And then I picked up an Iwata, is it Eclipse HP CS? And this thing's great so far, doesn't clog that easily. Very nice to control, easy to disassemble, and loads of parts readily available for it. So an Iwata CS, Eclipse CS. And then under there, we've got some of my primers. Got another primer today, which has arrived, which I'll show you in a bit with a haul. Then it's just boxes with old brushes in, some boxes for old spare paints, and yeah, a storage bin with loads of rubbish in it. This is my little booth, airbrushing booth. It's got a little Lazy Susan on it. I don't use any enamels or out like that. It's purely just water-based acrylics. So I haven't got this venting out to atmosphere or anything like that. I've just got the filter, and then for the time being, this goes over the fan to catch any spray that it doesn't collect. And then I just open the window if I do any airbrushing in here. I tend to just prime for the time being and spray some big bodies. But soon I'll be trying to experiment with, you know, brushing on colours directly onto models and see how that goes. In these drawers, it's just stuff like craft knives, balls, alcohol, tools, nothing really special. Sanding bits, what have we got? Loads of other bits, gloves, magnifier. I mean, a lot of this stuff is stuff I bought eons ago and just never used, but now I'm trying to put it to use. This light is just, it's an old mic arm that we got, which still has the USB cable in it. I just didn't want to disassemble it because we have better mics and booms now. And then it's a newer light that we got ages ago, and it's just been sat unused. Luckily I've got loads of camera gear and equipment, so I just fashioned this, and it seems to light up the area pretty well indeed. It's the light's maybe a tad too heavy for it, but it does the trick for the time being. It isn't going anywhere. Plus you can adjust the temperature on this, so I can just get it straight in at 5,000, which is ideal. What other bits have we got? So these are my main paints, and I've just bought a chunk more. Originally I bought a set of the original army painter stuff. Now, from what I've used so far, I don't really rate these that much. They seem to separate a lot. I'm sure you can watch plenty of reviews and stuff like that on them, but the set was cheap at the time, so I bought them. Wasn't overly satisfied with them, so then I started buying some of the old the old game colour and the opaque stuff. The reason I bought the opaque stuff is because I found the army painted stuff took way too many layers to get on, and this is only after me doing, like, I say, a couple of miniatures, right, and practicing. I just didn't. I tend to practice or use a model as like a brush test. One of the one of the things about painting is, you know, you can't control Z and undo your last step, which is great in you know, digital art and the 3D realm. You can just test live, and if you don't like it, just revert it. Unfortunately here, the only way I can test is to test on another model. So there's a few models around the room, you know, I'll just spray stuff onto or put paint onto just to see how it reacts. Anyway, by the by, I've invested in a majority of the Game Colour Vallejo, the new formulated range. I bought myself some AK Interactive. It was the, which one is it? This signature set, the Josie Da Vinci one, again from Element Games, and this had some colours which I thought looked quite nice, some very pastel-y looking colours. It's not the pastel set, but I thought they would do well, and so far I've really liked them. And then I also bought the Vince Ventrella Pro Acryl set by Monument Hobbies, and I tried a couple of these, and so far I really like these. To be fair, I like I've liked what I've used from the AK, and I really like the Vallejo game colour stuff. So I like these as well. So there's going to be a couple of ranges I'll possibly keep in stock, purely because the paints I've used so far are really good. So Vallejo game colour, some of the AK 3rd Gen, I've got some of the old game colour there, some Pro Acryl, I've got the old Army Painter range, and I've got some of the original, like, quick shades, washes and speed paints, as well as some new express colours and the opaque stuff mixed in. And there was my first set of Citadel paints, the starter kit. Yeah, the less said about Citadel paints, the better. It's only like one or two I've really found that I enjoy. Some of this stuff is new. It's part of today's haul. Got myself some brush soap as well. We have a little vortex cleaner, the cheapy one. And then under there is where my compressor sits. One of the Amazon ones. I mean, this one was highly recommended, and so far it's it overheated once because I'd stored it in a really bad place when doing loads of priming. But other than that, it's been amazing. Just, I need to get some airflow in there somehow, so I'm thinking of maybe installing a fan out back, or putting a fan in there and then just having the door open when I do it. Anywho, that's a long tour of a very small area, but for all intents and purposes, I've really enjoyed doing some miniatures at this table so far. I've done like 2 or 3, which I still feel are in progress for me. I don't know when to finish. I'll show you some of the ones I started making and painted, and some of the ones that I've got in progress soon. But first, I'll clear the desk and I'll get out the haul that I got from Monument Hobbies. Be right back. So here is the haul. We'll go from left to right. So first things first, let's get the boring stuff out of the way. Some glues. Typically I use the Loctite Super Glue Precision Max, and I've been recommending this to people via our Etsy for basing models, or just sticking it to the base that we provide. And historically this has worked okay. We print thousands of models, thousands of bases, and we have a load of our models around that we base ourselves, and this is what we've been using. But I don't know whether or not the formula's changed or these go bad after a short amount of time, but of late I found myself needing to, I don't know, hold the model together for a lot longer than I used to. So I thought, screw it, I'll grab myself some other model glues. These were from Amazon, Revell, Nairemir, whatever that is. I got this one from Element Games, and this was it's one of the Monument Hobbies ones. So I thought I'd give that a shot. And then moving on, Vallejo primers for the airbrush. I've been using a lot of the black primer and the grey primer, and then using a white ink to do like zenithal prime. So let me just grab a model. So like this, can't show you. I've also put this lady here. It's a white ink. I have had some instances in the past, and this could be just how I'm using it, but the white ink sometimes can come off, I've found. Anyway, that could just be user error, but we'll see how it goes. But I thought, screw it, I'll get the white primer as well. They're fairly cheap, and you get loads, so white primer. Next, got some sable brushes, Kolinsky sable brushes. This is from Amazon, again, Nicpro. I've used some of their synthetics before, I thought they were okay. I do have some Vallejo Kolinsky sable brushes, and I like them a lot. But for 3 brushes for £15, I thought maybe that was a bit steep. So I'm going to give these a try and see what these are like. They have a lot of brushes that I'll probably never use, but I think the entire set was just £20 anyway, and you get the bag too, which was quite nice. So we'll give them a shot, see what they're like. I do like the handles on these as well. I know a lot of people do not like the fat handles, but I have massive hands, so, you know, these handles do help. I'll just put that to the side. From Element Games, we grabbed ourselves a Green Stuff World rotating display stand. You know, fairly cheap. We like, you know, Green Stuff World. We've used some green stuff in the past, so we know the product works, and, you know, they're quite heavily advertising this. So I thought, why not? I'll give it a shot. It was worth a punt. Spent some of my Christmas money on that. We got some more Vallejo game colours. So, yeah, I have quite a few paints. For somebody who's literally only painted like, or finished like 3 or 4 models total. But my time to paint is very limited, and I prefer not to mix if I can help it. Working digitally, the way you mix paints is very different and has a very different effect because it's all additive than the way you do real world acrylics and stuff like that. So mixing will take, I'll probably need to learn how to mix proper. I have mixed some colours already, but I prefer to just buy, like, assemble a little box with the ones I want to use for any given project, and then go with that, essentially like a swatch or a colour scheme, and preferably try not to mix them and muddy the values. Anywho, I've just bought some more, which I thought would be nice and good, and I think will serve me well. So I've nearly got all of the new game colour range. I really like this bottle design as well. Looks very nice. So got some more of them. No real standout colours there. I think I like this one, the royal purple. Very big fan of them. Next, the most expensive thing from this haul. So like I said earlier, I purchased, let's grab it, the set here from, again, Element Games. The price was on it there. The Signature Series Pro Acryl set. And the reason I bought the Vince Ventrella set is I've been trying to familiarise myself with painting in general, and this Vince Ventrella, I've been watching a lot of his stuff. I find a lot of videos, if you're trying to learn a very bombastic, fast, you know, they're made for entertainment in a sense, rather than like education, if you feel me. But Vince Ventrella, I found his videos, although a bit lower, you know, lower pace, he talks to you as if like you're, you know, a student in that sense. And I found his videos very, very helpful, just getting across some concepts. So I thought, why not? I'll give his color choices a try. And I've got this. These are the things that introduced me to the Pro Acryl range, and I've used 3 of these so far, and each one of them I've really liked. I've used the royal purple, the dark yellow green, and the white blue. and they've all been really good. So I thought, you know what, screw it. I'm fortunate enough I can go ahead and buy a good chunk of the range. So that is what I did. So I bought the base set, as you can see here, which I think is 24. And then 3 of the 4 expansions. I'm missing the transparent paints because they're very situational. And I thought, well, if I really need transparent or glaze-like paints, I can just use glaze medium or thin down what I've already got. So I bought a chunk of this range to see how I fare with that. So I'm very excited to get these out on the shelf and get using them. So yeah, so let's just have a quick look at what we've got. We've got all this in the base set, and then we have, this is expansion set 4, which has some really desaturated nice colours with a couple of vibrant ones there. I'm a big fan of desaturated tones personally. I think they look quite cool. This is expansion set 1, and then 3. I really like that faded plum. That'll be cool. And like I say, expansion set 2 is transparents. I left them. What else did I get? Oh, we got a little bag. Suzanne is becoming a bit of a dice whore. So I thought, you know, Element Games, again, not sponsored, but we've been there twice now. I've ordered from them a few times in the past, and we found out that the store is only, like, 30 minutes away. We drove to it a couple of times. The store's amazing, really great peeps there, the Stockport branch. So I thought, I'll buy an Element Games bag so you can put some of the dice in there when we travel to our friends, and do some D&D one-shots. So, cool little bag. And then finally got these. I've heard mixed things about these, but Suzanne wanted them. She wants to, you know, have a go at painting some stuff as well. And the green stuff colour shift paints look very interesting. She's a big fan of purples and blues, so this seemed to be the more purple and blue heavy set, but also had a couple of very hot ones in there as well. Plus, she really liked the look of this Solar Anomaly colour shift metal paint. So we're going to give those a try at some point and see how they fare. If anybody wants to see, like, a video update on any of these products here and just my thoughts as a complete noob to painting, I know I've got a lot of stuff now. It doesn't look like a you know, I've got more than most noobs or new people would have. But, you know, if anybody wants some input or thoughts on the stuff I've purchased, then let me know. And is there anything people can recommend? You know, I'm always willing to try new stuff and give it a shot. Anywho, what I'll do now is I'll take some of this off here and I'll show you what I've been painting. Okay, welcome back. So here's some of the stuff I have been painting. Hopefully the lighting is good enough for this. It will have to do. So, things I started with were, I made a set of Cult of the Lamb follower miniatures for Suzanne, and I thought these would be an ideal opportunity or perfect way of me trying to learn some brush control. So we have the Weber follower, which is very fun to paint. Other versions we've got, see this is the glue I've been using. Been using that precision glue, and it doesn't stick anymore. We've got the little froggy, so we'll move him over. We've got the little worm dude. Paint looks potentially a bit too thick on this guy. But, you know, these were very simple. Got a star guy. Anybody's familiar with the game? The Narinda follower, he was fun. And then the meme favourite, the Pooh. He was cool as well. I should probably get these on that new green stuff stand. But yeah, I painted these to try and learn a bit of brush control and get used to that. And then moved on to Junimo from Stardew Valley, bit of a chunky one. Then I'm not sure I've called this finished yet, but it's what I've been painting. So this was actually one of the first models I ever sculpted for the Patreon. And again, these models that I'm showing you here are available on the Patreon for free. So be sure to jump down below, links in the description, jump on the Patreon, sign up, it's free. If you feel generous enough, or if any of these models help you out in any way, shape or form, if you could chuck us a bit of change, that's always good. But yeah, this was the first model I ever sculpted for the Patreon, and it was one of the first prints I ever made. And I primed it about 3 years ago, and it's just been sat since. So yeah, I started painting this. People's thoughts? How does it look? And then something a bit simple. I was trying to work with fire, so I thought a little mallow-kin. The model's not as clean as I'd like. For some reason, the print wasn't brilliant. So yeah, some fire. And I wanted to do them as a pair so that I could leach off some of the same paint and colours. I started painting a waddling. So it's a fire mage waddling, so he's got his fiery cape. He's casting his fire spell, and he's got his fire staff. But this is these three are very much a work in progress. But they've been very fun so far. Oh, and I started laying down some paint on this guy, who's a Valentine's mannequin, but that's just a base coat for the time being. I've got some more models there to paint at some point. But yeah, been really fun. So if anybody's got any like tips, or I'm just going to keep watching videos and keep experimenting and having fun and seeing what works and doesn't work. If you've got any tips, tricks, then feel free to shout out. I'll be happy to look at them. So quickly, another thing that has arrived is the brand new wash and curing machine, Mercury 3 Plus by Elegoo. So we've been using these anicubic wash and cures for small miniatures and medium-sized miniatures for years now. But we make quite a few large models which don't fit in these, and I need to wash by hand using like a vat down there. So hopefully this does dissipate the need for that over time, and we can start using this big unit to get stuff clean. I'll open that and show what it looks like when it's set up on another video, but that's something I am looking forward to unboxing soon. If anybody wants to see like a bit of a review on this after I've used it for a couple of weeks, let me know and I can make one. So there we have it, a little bit of a tour of the little new painting setup I have, and end of the haul I got from Element Games and Amazon earlier today. Let me know what you think. If there's anything you want to see, or if you'd be interested in some like painting videos. Okay, I'm not a pro, but do you want to see a new guy paint? How am I using the Pro Acryl or the Vallejo game color, the AK, whatever, or just want to see me paint some models? Can be fun. I think I might do some of that. But if there's anything you're interested in, let me know, give me a shout. Links to those models that I painted down in the description. It's via our Patreon, so jump on the Patreon, become a free member, and all those models are free to yourselves. And if you find any use for them, or you're feeling generous, then any tips are appreciated. So that'll about do it for this little catch up. Thanks again, see you soon.